Turn around, sweetie. Yes, just like that.
Can I go now, Daddy?
Just a few more shots, honey. We are almost done.
Hi, my name is Tasha, and this is the story of my crazy life. From the moment I was born, I was doomed. My parents set their eyes on me and saw nothing but a beautiful baby they could use to make lots of bucks with. They signed me onto a modeling agency as soon as I could walk, and I wasn't allowed to do much else than pose for crazy photos all the time.
I'm hungry, Mom. Can you stop the stupid photos and give me some food?
That was my older sister by 1 year, Morgan. For some reason, I didn't understand then why she was always super angry. She threw tantrums anytime she was present during my photo shoots.
Oh, Morgan, just a little more. We need to have perfect shots for your cute sister.
Suddenly, I felt something cold all over the front of my beautiful dress. I looked down to see the mango juice Morgan had been sipping all over my body.
Morgan, why would you do that? I'm hungry. She's making me wait.
That's it. You're grounded, young lady.
I couldn't even be angry with her because her actions successfully ended the photo shoot. But over time, my sister just continued to be a big meanie.
Oh, look. Bimbo is reading. Are you even allowed to do that?
Stop that. And I am not a bimbo.
But guess what? That's what girls like you, who don't know anything else but twist around like a snake for a camera, are known as.
You just can't accept that I am pretty as well as smart. Just then, Morgan jumped at me and we began to fight like cats. Thankfully, my mom came and separated us.
Oh my God. Morgan, look at the big gash you got on your sister on her face. Go into your room and don't come out until you are ready to say sorry.
Morgan never did, and my parents had to give up and let her out or else she'd starve. At school and everywhere else, everyone was the same way as my parents about my looks. People would stare at me and sing praises for my looks.
What a cute button nose!
Look at her skin. How clear.
Hi, can I take a picture? I would love you to be my screensaver.
My life seemed to be constantly in the spotlight, and it annoyed me to no end. Fact was, by the time I turned 12, I was more than certain that being a model wasn't what I wanted to be. But Mom and Dad wouldn't hear of it. They had me doing so many different modeling shoots and campaigns that school was beginning to take a back seat. My parents wouldn't even let me eat any junk food, so I didn't get fat.
Oh, honey, a hamburger? Throw it away right now. It's greasy and will ruin your skin.
One hamburger won't hurt, Mom.
A flood starts with a drop of rain, dear. Listen to your mother and throw that away.
You can give it to Morgan. Oh yes, throw it into the dustbin, otherwise known as me.
My turning point came when I turned 13. Mom and Dad threw a big party for me, but when I unveiled the cake, my jaw dropped to the ground. A freaking watermelon! Instead of the yummy cake I was expecting, my parents got a watermelon.
Honey, a cake is nothing but a trap full of calories. This is much healthier and...
Embarrassed tears filled my eyes and I cut her off. I am done! I'm not doing this anymore! This modeling stuff, I hate it! I've had enough! To their horror, I grabbed the knife I was supposed to use to cut the watermelon and sliced off a chunk of my hair.
Oh my God, she finally lost it! Her hair is like a duck's butt!
My parents and the other guests were still speechless with shock, but I ignored them and went to my room where I shaved off all of my hair. The next day, I came downstairs wearing the baggiest clothes ever. My parents begged me like their lives depended on it with a truckload of cake.
Dear, you could eat all the cake in the world you want. It's okay if you get fat. You're still pretty. And there are fat models.
I will eat all the cake in the world, but I am never going back to modeling. I want to be a doctor, Dad.
A doctor? Oh dear, you will be touching blood and stuff. No. Please reconsider. If it's the hair, you could wear a wig.
Nope. No way! Mind made up!
Don't worry, Mom. I'll be your new model.
My eyes almost fell out of their sockets when we turned to look at Morgan. She was dressed in one of my designer clothes, hair made into a tight braid, and face full of makeup.
Is that you, Morgan?
The makeup helped a lot, but who knew you had it in you?
I felt sorry for Morgan with the way my parents rushed over to her, taking pictures of her and asking her to turn this way and that. Morgan caught my eye and smirked as if she had won a trophy. Well, I certainly wasn't jealous. I was free as a bird. I wore wigs to school till I got to the 10th grade. Then I convinced my parents to transfer me to another school so I could really start afresh. Morgan insisted she switch schools with me just to show off, and my parents agreed. She was in the 11th grade.
Watch how I become the queen of our new school. No one will even notice you.
Honestly, that would be a relief. I'd appreciate the break for once. Go ahead.
Shut up, you four-eyed baldy.
Actually, my scalp was full of hair now, but Morgan kept calling me a baldy. I had also taken to wearing glasses just to disguise myself further. I ignored her and focused on my studies. At my new school the next day, I was surprised to see that no one seemed to recognize me. A few glances came my way, but no one tried to suffocate me asking for autographs. Students, however, flocked to Morgan, who was by now a fast-rising model, and she soaked in the attention.
Hi, I'm a big fan of yours. Can we take a selfie? Well, since you are a fan, I will grant you that privilege.
I was really happy to be out of the spotlight at school and hurried off to my class.
Class, this is our new student. Her name is Tasha.
Oh no! I couldn't let the class know my full name! Tasha Smart! My name is Tasha Smart! The teacher shot me a weird look for taking my family name, but thankfully he kept quiet. I threw myself into my books, thwarting any attempts from anyone to befriend me. But after 2 weeks at my new school, I met someone who stole my breath. I was coming out of the library when I ran smack into someone. When I got a look at him, I gasped. He looked like all these hot male characters from my favorite animes.
I know I am hot, but can you try not to bump into me next time you want me to notice you?
What?
Girls, very desperate set of creatures.
Every atom of attraction I felt for him died on the spot with his rudeness. Well, not every atom per se. At home, I couldn't stop thinking about the handsome guy I bumped into. I was struggling to focus on my studies when my sister barged into my room.
You witch! What were you doing with my Nick?
What are you talking about?
My minions saw you with him at the library. They said you were about to kiss him.
Oh, so the rude guy from earlier is Nick. Do your friends know you call them minions?
Doesn't matter. They will still worship me regardless. Stay away from Nick. He's in my class, and he's mine.
I felt my eyebrow tick in annoyance, but I forced myself to be calm. I wasn't going to let my sister rile me up and distract me from my studies. In school, my grades were getting really high, and teachers and students alike began to notice me for it. It was much better than being noticed for something as superficial as beauty.
Hey, Tasha, you're so brilliant. Would you want to take part in a science competition?
What? That was the ticket to achieving my dreams faster! I quickly said yes!
Great. You'll be studying with our other brilliant student, Nick.
Nick! It turned out that prior to me coming to the school, Nick was the one excelling most in school. He looked me over when I met him in the library as instructed by the teacher. Gosh, he really was so handsome.
Ugh, not again. Go away! Shoo, I'm expecting someone. No time for fangirls.
And very rude. Unfortunately for you, Nick, I am the one you are expecting. And no, I am no fangirl of yours. You seem to be so desperate for one that you pinned the title on any girl unfortunate enough to bump into you. That shut him up, and he finally focused on the task we had together. But truly, Nick was popular amongst the girls. Even at the library, girls would hardly let him breathe in peace, but Nick knew just how to give it to them.
Oh, Nick, could you check my temperature? I think I'm running a fever.
I believe you know where the first aid room is. Or are you blind too? Nick, there is a spider on my desk. Please come and save me. Spiders make good seatmates.
He was actually funny, and at a point I couldn't help but start laughing at his attitude with the pestering girls. No wonder he seemed to hate me from the start. When we were done studying, I turned to pack up, but Nick stopped me.
Tasha, I'm sorry about earlier. I just made my usual assumption about a girl, which, by the way, hadn't failed me until now. Can I apologize by taking you out for ice cream?
Oh boy, could today get any better? I pretended to consider it for a moment, so as not to give him the impression of being all over him. I can spare some minutes. I think I have done all the studying I need for today. He smiled, and I almost fainted. He had dimples! How much prettier could a boy get?
Let's go.
When I went back home, Morgan was fuming.
You? How dare you go out on a date with Nick?
I just went to get ice cream with him. It wasn't a date.
But you would like it to be right? You love him, don't you?
Like I was going to answer that. Can you just leave me alone? You're a model now. Aren't you happy? Sure, she wasn't a big shot model like I was before, but I thought she would finally be off my back to at least be one. Instead, she seemed to be getting more and more frustrated.
Oh, just you wait. I'm only just starting. I have a modeling gig by next month, and if I bag this, I will win millions of dollars and I will make sure you don't get a penny. I bet you this. When I become a big shot model, Even guys like Nick would beg to date me.
With all my heart, I wish you the best. Nick and I continued studying together, and we kept drawing closer together. One day, we were going through some chemical formulas together when his phone beeped. He opened it and gasped.
Tasha, is this you?
My mouth went dry when I saw the picture he was showing me. It was one of my pictures as a model from an unsaved number I quickly identified as Morgan's.
You are Tasha Williams, the famous model who suddenly went MIA.
I quit for a reason, Nick. Can you bring your voice down?
Why did you quit?
I didn't want to be a model, okay? I love maths and science. I want to study and become a doctor. Walking on runways, staying up to date with the latest fashion, and not eating what I love for fear of getting fat. It's just not what I wanted. I want to live a life like a normal girl.
Whoa.
I know I'm not as fancy or fashionable as when I was a model, but I will never go back to that. To my surprise, he beamed at me.
Trust me, I completely understand. It must not have been easy to quit.
It definitely wasn't.
Tell me about it.
I began to tell him the crazy drama that took place when I quit, and Nick laughed all the way through, especially when I told him about the watermelon cake. Morgan's attempt to break us up actually backfired, and soon we started dating. His personality was much better than what I had previously thought of him, and so when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I said yes. Soon, the competition came around. We answered question after question, and we were declared winners. We won for our school. Mom, Dad, I won the competition! Nick and I won!
Oh, honey, aren't you the prodigy? Winning everything you set your mind to. I'm so proud of you.
If only Morgan would be the same. She lost the gig we worked hard to get her. I am sure you would have won if it was you.
It was then that I noticed Morgan in the corner, and she looked like she'd been crying. But when our eyes met, she clenched her jaw and ran to her room. Mom, Dad, I think you owe Morgan an apology. She worked so hard to impress you, but you're always letting her down. Stop comparing her to me. My parents immediately looked remorseful. I will talk to Morgan. I followed Morgan to her room, and she was sobbing like I had never seen before.
Why am I such a big loser? You've stopped modeling. You wear the ugliest clothes and nerdy glasses. You're not as popular as I am now yet. You're so happy, and I'm not. Even the school's prince is always hanging out with you. You're pretty, you're smart. What am I supposed to do?